Hello everyone and welcome back. So as you know, I'm gonna just do the flip. All right, here we are again, the Irving Park, and you know the routine that if you see something, if you see me going into the woods or anything off the trail, it'll be because there's somebody coming and I don't want to disturb them and disrupt the whole flow of the video. So it's been a little bit of time since I've did a video like this, although I often do these daily videos, the shorts. It's absolutely beautiful again. What a summer that we had. I would say that the only thing missing would be more rain. It's very dry here. There's some parts of Nova Scotia that are extreme drought right now. Luckily we're not that bad. We had some rain this past weekend, which helped a little bit. I think it was around the month that I didn't mow the lawn. But that's not why I'm here. I want to talk about something that, for me, is more important. And today I want to talk about their system. So the people that follow these videos, they probably heard of a video that I made about how everything has been infiltrated, taken over. And before I get going to this video, I want to add a little bit to how things eventually get taken over. Remember when my dad was a dairy farmer, and at first they were selling the milk to a company called Dairytown, which was very local in New Brunswick, and then eventually I think Dairytown was bought by Northumberland, which was again I think a New Brunswick or maybe maritime company. And then eventually, when Northumberland got big, they got bought up by is it Saputo? I forget the name. Lucerna, maybe, in Quebec. And now all Northumberland is a brand. And I want to just I want to maybe put a little idea within you that when things get big, so when a company gets very big, they usually get gobbled up by bigger companies, and everything changes. So what was once something pure is no longer. And it happens with a lot of people too. And some noise here. Oh, look at a bird. So when something gets big, a company, they get bought out by a bigger fish. And what if I told you that the same happens with people? So people that become popular, famous, and influential, I should add. It's probably the most important part of this, is that when somebody gets really influential, they get gobbled up. And I've seen this when it comes to, people that are in the spiritual sphere and the truth community. I know so many people that I used to follow on YouTube and BitChute, Rumble, that they were very much about the truth. And now all I gotta say is that they were probably visited and told that you're no longer working for yourself, but you're working for us. Now, when I say us, I don't mean me and you. I mean actually them. And then what happens is that people that were so-called about the truth no longer are, where they will basically justify, rationalize, come up with excuses for things that are not aligned with the truth. There's so many people now that I had to let go of because they have been infiltrated. It's quite disheartening to see that, but I gotta accept that this is the nature of the beast, where we cannot have musicians, YouTubers, or whatever it is go against the system because of the threat of being fully exposed. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that if I ever get really popular, and I don't know what number, I don't know, maybe 1 million followers or something like that, that eventually I'll get visited, and Marcel will no longer be an individual acting freely. There will be people pulling my strings, and then if that ever comes, you'll have to let me go and try to find somebody else, a smaller channel, because I will no longer be aligned with the truth, and you'll have to find somebody else that will be, if that's what you're interested in. Hopefully it is, because if you don't have truth, you don't have much. So I'm gonna sit down. There's been not over here. I like the other one. So I want you to understand how this has been going on for so many years, right? It's about when I talked about how before these secret societies, they were preserving truth, and then when they got infiltrated, it was no longer about truth. Well, it's the same thing. And there was a time when people were indeed, let's say, environmentalists. They cared about nature. Now it's just a catchword. And what they have turned it into is, climate. I can't even say the word. Changing. I hope that you understand what I'm trying to say. because it's no longer about pollution. It's about a green agenda that's about their control. But we cannot be in a state of despair because of all of this that's happening. We just need to be aware of it, and then, keep an eye out in case it happens to people that we follow and people that we trust, because it's happening everywhere. And for me, what it is basically is that I cannot support that anymore, right? So these people that I used to support and watch and follow, I no longer am able to support them. And it's basically like the system, the system, right? The Matrix has you, Neo, right? So everything that society or the system has to offer is toxic. Right, so I'll go down, I've got a little list here. So their food, the GMO, the spraying with pesticides, herbicides, and all that stuff. All of it is toxic now. The education is about indoctrination now. It's no longer about educating, it's about indoctrinating. So the educational system is toxic to us, right? To us, the individual. Their lifestyle, where it's all about, well, if you want to be successful in life, you need to hustle, and usually that comes at a detriment of your own health. So that's toxic. Their healthcare, well, do I really need to go into details about this when it comes to what we experienced between 2020 and 2023, whereas a bunch of untested, what did they call, shots, and now we see all these people with myocarditis and having strokes, they have turbo cancer, they have blood clots, which we never used to see before. Well, not at this scale anyways. So the politicians, it's another thing that I'm not interested in. It's because it's toxic. All these people are liars, corrupt, and if we would follow them, we would be, again, going against our own bodies and our own souls, and it would corrupt us from within. So their economy, so their jobs, all the jobs do is they keep us a slave wage, as a slave wage earner, I should say. And the jobs don't fulfill us because of how basically all the job is about is basically wasting our precious energy. So we're not really aligning with what we want to do in life. Their legal system. Oh. And I'm sure that there are some people that have experienced how corrupt and how there's rules for them and rules for us, and how there is no justice now in the justice system. Their music is absolute garbage. And I haven't been interested in their music in so long, right? Their religions. Do I really need to talk about this? The art that they have to offer. Their science and research. Their mental health institutions. And their social norms are all basically poison to our souls. So it's either that we are aligned with truth, or we're aligned with these lies and this toxic system. So at the end, it's for me, it's not a choice whatsoever. I know that whatever they have to offer, it's not good for me. It's not good for you. And we wonder why now that people have such a high level of depression, how there's so many people unhappy, how that people have lost, in a sense, meaning in their lives. Well, if you just take a look at what we have become, it is plain and obvious why. And it's up to us to determine if something is actually good for us. But them, they will say, no, don't trust your own eyes. Just don't trust your own research. Don't trust your own feelings. So if you feel sick, oh, it's not because of our food, or it's not because of our health care. It's not because of that, or it's not because of the job that you have that is draining your life force. No. You need a drug for that. We've got a new drug that it'll fix you if you do take it. And what will happen is that it'll make you even more numb. And then eventually you'll become a sort of zombie that doesn't feel anything. Which is the case for many of us, where we don't want to feel because we're scared that if we feel that we'll have to face that darkness, that sadness that we all have. And we know full well how this is going to be very difficult to face up to. So instead of doing that, we'll just keep on trucking along. And we will say that I'm just gonna push down my emotions, and or take a pain med to dull the pain, because I don't want to deal with the real reason that's causing this pain, which is how we have betrayed ourselves for nothing. We're selling our souls, and we're getting nothing in return. When I say that, I mean that when we go work our jobs that we hate, we're sacrificing our happiness, our health, for a piece of paper. And now these days, it's not even a piece of paper. There's a digit on the computer screen. And that is not something real. Let me put it quite bluntly, that money is not real. Or maybe for some people, it's going to be basically fame that gets them. So it won't be money, but fame. So what it boils down is that they don't care about us. All they care about is remaining in power. These people that are telling us that all your dreams or your research or what is making you unhappy. These people, they don't want you to realize that it is the system that's making you sick. Because if we realize that the system is what is making us sick, well then we will eventually say, well, to heck with the system. I'm gonna start taking matters in my own hands. I'm gonna start listening to my body, my own soul, and do what feels right for me. And if we would all do that, then eventually the system would be able to crumble, because none of us, in a sense, have any use or good use for the system. It's toxic. It's poisoning us. And the sooner we all realize that, the faster that we can abandon this system, abandon ship. Or maybe what I'm hoping also is that we will start taking responsibility for our own lives, and then we will say, no more are we prisoners of whatever they have created, such as the surveillance grid that's done with cell phone, internet. And if we can take over this system, it can help free us. They're scared that we will one day take over their own weapons. Well, the things that they've created as a weapon. What I mean by that is that if you take, for example, just airplanes were created so you can see from above the ground, and also airplanes were created to connect different countries, connect the world, make the world more accessible to us all. But what they have created, yes, we still have planes, but they have created jets with bombs. So they have basically, again, taken something that could have liberated us, and they created a weapon out of it. So what if I tell you that almost everything in this life they have turned into a weapon? So the internet is now a weapon of surveillance, and in the same way that education is, controls information. And then things like cell phones, which can help connect the whole world. They've taken cell phones and, again, created a weapon or surveillance. And we need to come to terms with the fact that this is what they've done. They have taken every single thing that had the potential to create a better life for all of us, And they've weaponized it in one way or another. So the whole health system, look at how they have poisoned us with the health system. How food is there to nourish us, and now they're spraying and creating GMOs that poison us. And I think that we need to really, really accept this. That this is the way it is now. So if we keep on eating the food that they have to offer, we will not be healthy. If that we take the medicine or the drugs, not medicine, sorry, drugs, that it will not cure us. And we need to accept that. And we need to return to nature. We need to go back to nature, just like John Trudeau said, that these psychopaths have made us off balance. And if we're going to regain our balance, that we need to go back to nature, as nature will tell us what we need to do. And it'll also tell us what we need to do to deal with these psychopaths. I'm hoping that people realize how important it is to explore these things, because we cannot keep on sweeping things under the rug. Because first of all of our rugs are full with trauma that we haven't transcended. And if we keep on adding some more trauma, some more poison, that we have very little chance of getting well and becoming healthy again. So if we value our health, it is vital that we return to nature. And I say that in a sense, literally, not just figuratively, that instead of taking the drugs that they are offering us, we need to return to nature and start getting back into natural cures. So it is really up to us. It really is up to us to take the bull by its horns, take charge of our own lives, take responsibility. It's all part of freedom. So that the more responsibility, personal responsibility, that we take on, the freer that we will be. Because we won't be depending on the system for anything. Now, I want to just say this, that I do believe there was a time when the system was not toxic as it is now. That there was a time when stuff that was found within the system was not poisoning us. But that time is gone. Everybody knows this intuitively. I mean, how many people need to pass away from turbo cancers at the age of 20? Or how many people that are not even 30 years old that need to die from heart attacks before we start saying, there's something terribly wrong here. So, and it's the same, so I'm talking about human beings, but remember a couple of videos I talked about how, like right now, I'm walking in Irving Park, where it's filled with trees and, nature. But all throughout this walk, didn't get bothered by one mosquito. Isn't that interesting? That's because they have sprayed pesticides and all sorts of stuff to kill these things off. And it won't be long before birds are no longer around, because what are these birds going to eat? And I'm not just talking about mosquitoes. There's very much a lack of flies and insects in general now, in this area, that is. And the birds obviously eat these insects, the ones that have somehow not been killed off by the pesticides. So this is the state of things. Now hopefully you don't see this video as something negative. It's just the truth of the things, the truth of the matter. Same as we need to accept that there are evil people that are out there trying to control your life. If we don't accept that, we don't believe that, then we're likely to be taken advantage of. See, and like a lot of people will say like, oh, well, you need to be positive, Marcel. I am positive. I'm positive that this is going on. I'm positive that their system is toxic. I'm positive that there's people out there that don't care about us. But there are some that care. And the ones that care usually get ridiculed the same way that when it came to the 2020 vax, where there was people like me and many others that were screaming from the hilltops, don't take this. But a lot of people didn't listen, and they're paying with their the price of their life. But I believe all of this will lead to people waking up. Eventually, we will become very awakened because of everything that's going on. We'll realize that this is not a way to live, that their system is not for us, and that we can create something way better than this if we just start working together. But of course, we need to figure out what we're here for. So you, as an individual, you need to follow your passions, and you need to do what's right for you, and then do it. No longer work that dead-end job. Work for yourself or somebody else that you trust, somebody else that you're aligned with. Okay, so I'm back at the start. So I love you all. I wish you deep realizations, healing, love, and until next time.